Mangan, fulfilled wish. Osamu Dazai. This is a story from 4 years ago. It was during a summer I spent living on the second floor of an acquaintance's house in Mishima, Izu, while I was working on a novel titled Romanesque. One night, I rode a bicycle through town while drunk and got into an accident. I tore the area just above my right ankle. The wound wasn't particularly deep, but because I had been drinking, the bleeding was excessive. In a panic, I rushed to a doctor. The town doctor was 32 years old, large, and Stoughton bore a striking resemblance to Saigo Takamori. He was terribly drunk. He staggered into the examination room, swaying just as much as I was, and I found it quite amusing. As he treated my wound, I couldn't help but chuckle. Then the doctor began to chuckle too, and before long, we burst into hearty laughter together. From that night on, we became friends. The doctor preferred philosophy over literature. I also found it easier and more enjoyable to talk about such things. His worldview could be described as a kind of primitive dualism. He saw everything in the world as a battle between good and evil, which made his speech quite sharp and refreshing. I, on the other hand, was inwardly striving to believe in a single God of love. But even so, when I listened to the doctor's stories about good and evil, it brought a kind of invigorating clarity to my otherwise heavy heart. For example, in one instance, he illustrated his idea by saying, "I, who promptly asked my wife to bring out beer to entertain tonight's guest, am the good guy. My wife, who smiles and suggests, 'How about a game of bridge tonight instead of beer?' She is the villain." I found myself readily agreeing with his logic. His wife was petite, with a round, cherubic face, but her complexion was pale and elegant. They had no children, but her younger brother, a quiet boy attending commercial school in Umazu, lived upstairs. The doctor's household subscribed to 5 different newspapers, so I would often stop by during my morning walks to read them, staying for 30 minutes to an hour. I would go around to the back entrance, sit on the edge of the tatami room facing the garden, and read the rustling papers while holding them down against the wind with one hand, sipping the cold barley tea his wife brought me. Just 2 rooms away from the edge of the veranda, a small stream with ample water flowed gently through the green field. Every morning, a young milk delivery man would ride past on a bicycle along the narrow path by the stream and call out, "Good morning," to me, the traveling stranger. Around the same time, a young woman would always come to pick up medicine. She wore simple clothes and wooden sandals, carried herself with a clean, neat air, and often laughed together with the doctor in the examination room. Sometimes, the doctor would even walk her to the front entrance and shout loudly, "Madam, just a little more patience, please." One day, the doctor's wife explained the situation to me. The woman was the wife of an elementary school teacher. 3 years ago, her husband fell ill with tuberculosis, though he had been steadily recovering lately. The doctor had been doing his utmost, firmly warning the young wife that this was a critical period and forbidding certain things. She had obeyed his instructions. Still, from time to time, she would come to the clinic looking somewhat pitiful. Whenever that happened, the doctor would harden his heart and firmly declare, "Just a little more patience, madam," his words carrying deeper meaning than they seemed. At the end of August, I witnessed something beautiful. One morning, as I was reading the newspaper on the doctor's veranda, his wife, who was sitting beside me, leaned in and whispered, "Oh, she looks so happy." Looking up, I saw a clean figure in simple clothes walking briskly down the small path just in front of us, almost as if gliding. She twirled her white parasol as she went. This morning, she was finally given permission. The wife whispered again. 3 years sits easy to say, but my chest filled with emotion. As the years pass, the image of that woman only grows more beautiful in my memory. Perhaps it was the doctor's wife who orchestrated it all.